going to our next topic. Speaking of Hulk Hogan, the next topic I was bringing up. I wanted to ask what your favorite wrestling moment was of your lifetime.
And I watched wrestling for like
Andrew has his.
2 years when I was like in elementary to middle school. So I mean, it's been a long time since I really followed that. But that was back when The Rock was big and everything. But I always liked Kane because he had the same last name as me. Like he was such a badass wrestler.
Yeah, and he's all red and stiff.
I think it's when he fought with The Rock. I just remember them coming out.
Yeah,
that was it.
I vaguely remember that.
I remember, I think it was a certain moment, but like I was watching it when it was like the NWO versus Wolfpack, and I was like really on the Wolfpack a lot, and I loved them a lot, and like I remember Sting was on NWO for a long time, and I was just like, had the white face paint and everything like that, and I just remember like he came out, I can't vaguely remember, but I remember he came out, he had red face paint on. And he like took off his jacket and it was an NWO NWO Wolfpack shirt, and I was just like, yes, because he was like my favorite wrestler at the time, and then he switched like the good side, not the dark side anymore, and I was just so happy, and like he just started taking out the entire NWO. Yeah, I remember that. I was like, awesome.
Was it Kevin Nash and Scott Hall? Because they had started the NWO and then it got too big, and I thought they started the Wolfpack, right?
No. The Wolfpack was.
Wolfpack is back, causing mass destruction. Guess who's here? The bad boys are wrestling. Dude, it's so good.
I can't believe Hulk Hogan was a part of the NWO, though.
He was original. I mean, that was like one of the biggest twists. Yeah. And that was during, the Monday Night Wars, which are infamous for like, Vince McMahon versus Eric Bischoff of WCW and then WWE, respectively.
Dude. I just want to share you a story. I went to my first wrestling match ever, right? And I was in the big Wolfpack fan. And my stepdad at the time, he was a big Hulk Hogan fan. So he liked the NWO. And he said he would get me a shirt, but it'd have to be the NWO shirt. And like, I had to wear the NWO shirt. And I was so, like, I wasn't enjoying myself. Like, one guy was like, what are you doing, man? Just with the Wolfpack. I'm like, I know. It was like such a good experience ruined because of that. It was just like, I don't know.
It's like they gave you a dunce cap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's exactly what it was. Like, and me and him were like the only ones wearing that shirt in our section. Like, it was just like, it was horrible. Like,
oh man.
And then he eventually like got the people to like switch out the shirt or whatever like that.
That's
so like
cool.
I ended up getting my Wolfpack shirt. It actually had a wolf on the front of it, and it was just red and everything. I remember it, so I was pretty happy after that. But
nice.
It was pretty bad. Like, I think he got the idea. Like,
so you were a more WCW fan, it sounds like, than WWE.
Yeah. I was more of that. Yeah, because I remember I forgot what WWE had.
What guys?
DX.
What were
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they the guys that said "suck it"?
I watched them both. Yeah, I watched them both. I actually watched them both a lot. I remember that.
The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
I was a big fan of Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman when they did the tag team Cruiserweight Championship for WCW.
Yeah.
But I also really, really had a big heart for Rowdy Roddy Piper. Even though he was before my time, he made guest appearances. I loved him in They Live. It's Rowdy Roddy
Piper.
Piper.
Glasses.
Yeah, exactly. That's his best fight, in my opinion.
Yeah. Outside the ring and inside the ring. Yeah, Roddy Piper's good. He can cut a promo, man.
There was a lot of weird people that got, like, ICP was wrestling for a while. Do you remember that?
All those juggalos were excited.
Yeah.
Donald Trump was on WWE.
He was.
Was
that's
he?
Right.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He shaved McMahon's head.
I remember that.
Did he get filled up by a woman?
Yeah, and then he grabbed her by the junk.
Yeah.
My favorite moment, I think, was Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels moment. Was really fun with the Iron Man match, and they won the title. Because HBK was my favorite wrestler, so I was super excited. And then
Shawn Michaels is your favorite wrestler, is he?
Hands down.
Sweet. He was so funny, dude. It was so funny when he come in. Like, you'd like love to hate him kind of type thing. Like, it was just like his most arrogant person.
Yeah, that's because like Yeah, it was fun to like root for someone who was that cocky. It was because I'm not like that, I don't think. And I was like, yeah, this kid.
Yeah.
Cinnabon.
Yeah, and then when they made DX, that was probably one of the, like my most fondest moments of wrestling, because like that early DX with the Triple H, China, and HBK, they had some of the most fun stuff. Like they feuded with Sergeant Slaughter, Undertaker. They feuded with a couple other people, and forget like some tag teams, which was fun. And their promos that they were cutting were really, really good and very edgy at the time. Like they were like really pushing the Attitude Era before Stone Cold really came in and started drinking beers and like flipping fingers off and stuff.
He was awesome. Him coming in and just boom, chugging down those beers.
You know what's really fun? Like as time goes on, I'm realizing how dark and bleak the '90s really were. And I didn't have that feeling at the time, but looking back, the movies, the culture, the music, it was really, really dark and depressing and very anti-corporate, which makes sense because the 80s were all about rise the ladder. You got to be the cog in the system because you'll get money. It's a corporate, money. And like they were like anti that, right? And Stone Cold embodied that. And I think it was an interesting time because the dichotomy, right? The economy was the dichotomy of the economy and the culture was interesting because the economy was doing really good, but there was this anti-establishment movement, and Stone Cold and the Attitude Era really like helped push that because he was all about, you know, fucking over his boss, and it was like everybody's like wildest dream. Like, yeah, I wish I could Stone Cold stun my boss. That guy's dick.
Yeah.
Like, so you're watching it week in and week out with Stone Cold doing it, right? And drinking beers and pouring it on his man. Everybody's just like living this power fantasy trip through Stone Cold. So it's just really, it's kind of fascinating to me to see that Attitude Era movement work so well, especially because it was catering to an audience that had grown up with wrestling and they were more mature now, and so they wanted maybe a more mature wrestling.
I wonder if like The Rock got fed off of like Stone Cold, because like The Rock kind of had like all that shit. Like he's like, well, what do you think? And he's like, it doesn't matter what you think, because it's like Stone Cold is like, because Stone Cold said
oh
so.
My god,
you know
absolutely.
I mean? So like that's what
Stone
I'm saying.
Cold 316.
Like, yeah, remember that?
There was definitely a feeling of paint by numbers.
Yeah.
Based off Stone Cold's success, they're like, okay, you need a catchphrase at the end, like, but like that also builds off Hulk Hogan, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, they all had him. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, what was Hulk Hogan's slogan?
Well, he would be, "What you gonna do, brother?" When
Yeah.
Hulk
Oh,
Hogan
yeah.
was why. That's like because Stone Cold said so, and because if you smell what the Rock is cooking, like they always had something to end on.
Yeah.
But it got kind of even nuttier, like the Brahma Bull and the Rattlesnake. Like you needed some kind of moniker, like animal or like nickname, I guess. I don't know.
Jake the Snake.
The Rock was so entertaining. Watching him
It
in the
was.
ring
That's funny.
and just
with the eyebrow.
oh, but like, I mean, he made an elbow drop look like the best fucking thing in the world, and all he did was run and jump over somebody and then drop. But your fucking head would explode when he would take off his elbow pad. Like,
Yeah, I was
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, and you're like,
like
you know, you're
It's coming.
no.
Yeah, it's happening.
no, the powerbomb, I bet was my favorite. Like from Nash was like
Yeah.
powerbomb, because you're like, that shit looks like it hurts no matter how fake it is. Like
Yeah,
I don't know how
DDT.
you don't make that hurt.
yeah, the DDT.
Yeah.
What?
The shooting star press was my favorite move.
Oh,
That was the backflip down off the top right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
so good.
you really
So
had to
good.
beat somebody in submission for them to stay
Do-
still. With that, yeah.
Do you ever watch like the old like interviews like from Hulk Hogan and all those guys in the back in the day?
Oh
where
shit!
they're hilarious.
Oh.
They're
Ultimate
so
Warriors are some of the best.
yeah. And they're like,
He's so
"Oh,
jacked up
yeah."
on steroids. It's
I
insane.
know.
Like they're living cartoon characters. It's
Right.
wild.
Like I was always waiting for like for Macho Man's like just vein to explode out his neck.
Yeah.
Oh, like it literally every time it got bigger and bigger, like it's like fucking just crazy, man. I was just like, oh my god, it's gonna go. He's gonna have an aneurysm right here. Like, just seriously, every single time, like his face was so red after the interviews, it was just nuts. And I'm
Yeah.
like, is this his real voice? Does he really talk like this out of work? Because if he does, I don't think he's gonna live very much longer.
No.
Like,
Oh.
and I was like 8 years old thinking about this. Just like,
Man, dude, I'm getting flooded with memories too. I'm just kind of riffing out off what you're saying, Steve, and
well,
just
I'm just thinking I'm thinking of like all the stuff. Like I remember there wasn't that one memorable moment I remember watching on TV where the tightrope broke or whatever when that guy was coming in and he died actually
Owen.
on TV.
Hard.
Hart.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that because he was actually the Patriot, wasn't it?
Patriot and the Blue Blazer.
Yeah.
He was, and nobody knew it was really him.
Well,
because because he was playing two different people. I think
you weren't supposed to, but I knew. My friends knew, but we were really into it. Like we would read behind the scenes stuff. So I'm not sure how mainstream that was.
Yeah, well, I remember that. I'm trying to think of
Dude, do you guys remember Kurt Angle?
Cage matches. Remember cage matches?
Oh yeah, dude. Mankind versus Undertaker in the first Hell in a Cell or second Hell in a Cell.
Oh yeah, I remember Mankind. Yeah.
What was his other ego?
Well, he had like a dirty sock one. I remember the sock. Socko. That was it. Socko.
Yeah. So that was shit. That was just. So he had Mick Foley, which I think was Socko.
The dude. Remember the dude?
Dude
was my
Love.
Favorite. Dude Love was my favorite.
So good. He had Cactus Jack, right?
Cactus Jack, yeah.
And then he had Mankind. Wow, what a fucking.
And Carlito. Can't forget Carlito.
Oh yeah, Carlito.
I don't remember Carlito.
So many.
Dude.
But Dude Love was the best because everyone loved him. Like he was just like he came out, he was always smiling and everything. It was so weird.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember that.
Man. Oh, dude, and
Carlito's cool.
Carlito cool. Dude, that was I remember Kurt Angle though. He was a heel for so long, and I will never forget this though when he came in, and it's always like a face turn is always like saving someone. He came in and he saved someone from Vince McMahon or something like that, and he mimicked Stone Cold's where Stone Cold came out with that beer truck and sprayed everybody with beer, and then right. But Kurt Angle is an Olympic warrior, right? So he's not gonna have beer, so he comes out with a milk truck and he sprays milk on everyone. And he's got cartons of milk. And he's dumping. I'm like, yeah. And I'm flipping out. It's so epic. And it was really fun to root for him for a while.
Dude,
and
did you Okay, go ahead.
I was just Kurt Angle's matches were some of the best, and you had these very technical wrestlers at the time, including Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, some other folks that put on just some amazing matches compared to the heavyweights that didn't do much. Like Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, they're not that good for wrestling. Yeah. Goldberg is not. He's got a two-trick pony. He spears and then does the jackknife. That's it.
But I'm telling you, the spear you see him gearing that up.
I actually met Goldberg in real life. My dad knew him. Worked out with him at Gold's Gym. Yeah, I got an autograph from him and everything. Also got an autograph from the Giant too. He was one of my favorites too.
The Giant.
Yeah, man.
Yep. I remember that.
The Big Show now, right?
Yeah, it was the Big Show. Yeah.
Down here in Florida, you have they're all the wrestlers are down here.
Yeah, they're all down here. But
John Cena, Hulk Hogan, they all live here.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan's just in Dunedin or something like that. It's one of his houses.
He has a restaurant. Oh, he had a restaurant.
Yeah, I feel like that is a sports thing.
He still owns it with us.
You'll better believe it, brother.
But did you guys remember when because I thought it was real at one point in my when I was watching. I thought it was real. Remember when people try to tell you it wasn't real? Everyone's you're like, no, it's real. It's really real, man. It's they're like, no, it's fake. It's all fake.
Yeah.
You guys defended it before.
No,
I defended it
against my father. Real to a point, right?
Yeah, I did too.
They that blood's not fake. So you go.
No, that's real because I remember I heard that they do a small little slip and it actually bleeds a lot because there's a lot of blood vessels right here, something like that.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt, and it's really easy to hide. If you look at any Hunter Hearst Helmsley up close now, that you have HD, you will see just tons of scars on his forehead, and that's from cutting himself.
Yeah.
Or any wrestler for that matter. And Hunter Hearst Helmsley, like Rob knows, cuts one of the best promos. He's very entertaining. Let me tell you a story about how I made a sandwich one time.
Clay's insistence. I remember, here's a real distinct moment where I really got to know Clay.
Oh boy.
This was in college, sophomore year, and I went to Walmart and picked up, I'm like, oh, hey, championship belts. I'll pick up a championship belt. Why not? Because I'm an asshole. And go pick it up. I walk back to the dorm, and Clay's room has got, the door and then a huge glass window looking in. And I just go in there, and he's on his computer just doing his thing, and he kind of just, looks over and just, runs out the door and, grabs an imaginary microphone and just starts getting in my face saying that belt is his. And it turned into us fighting for the belt, I think, and I won.
Yeah. It was really good. We feuded for weeks.
I've never seen a broken man such as that.
I was devastated. That was
What
my
was
rightful
your
belt.
name, Clay?
Huh?
What was your name? Your wrestling name?
Clay Coolidge.
Clay Coolidge.
Clay Ice Coolidge.
Clay. What was your catchphrase?
Oh shit.
You better chill out, man.
Yeah. Cool party. I forget. I had a catchphrase. I totally did. Oh man, I totally forget though.
Towers.
Huh?
Or at least that's what you and Alan were, apparently.
Me and Alan were a tag team called the Twin Towers.
Twin Towers. You're like 5 feet shorter than him.
That's the joke, yeah. And people would kind of like, they would say it, be like, why, like, you're so short. I'm like, no, we're the same height. We're the same height.
You just argue with
Yeah.
The best is you get on your tippy toes to measure him.
That's right.
You're like, look, same height.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we had a blast. We created our own wrestling league in college, and then we would have matches via WWE like 2K or whatever. And so we'd make everyone in the game, and we'd actually have titles for them that they'd be wearing. We'd have real ones to represent in real life, and then we'd have this big event where people come over and drink beers and eat like wings, and then have their matches, and everybody would watch their matches and see who wins. And
my favorite though wrestling story has to be yours, Clay. The one where you was talking about where you were in Halloween, you were in that bar.
Oh yeah,
Undertaker, and I was
Yeah.
like, that would have been like the greatest thing to freaking see ever,
Yeah.
man. Like,
I'd take that shit to my. I mean, you're drunk already, having a good time, and like I'm at a bar. I don't know if I explained this to you, Rob. It was in Chicago, and me and my 2 other buddies who I
listen
work
to
with
this,
were
Rob.
there.
This is so great.
And we're all wrestling heads, and like we see this Undertaker character with a pallbearer, and we're like, oh shit, Undertaker head. And he's just like looking at us, and then he points to like my one buddy who's dressed up like a Dexter victim, and he's just like, he does that thing. We all lose our shit. We're like, dude, such good costumes, blah blah. And it was like, oh, they were almost about to break character when I see like this Macho Man dude come over, and he has no affiliation with this like Undertaker and Paul Bearer, and he's like, oh, brother, you know what I mean? He gets in this guy's face, and I'm like, oh shit, that's cool. And then before I know it, Macho Man's rest of his buddies roll up, and it's fucking Hulk Hogan, it's fucking like all like the Giants, like all these other dudes, and they're fucking, and they just like circle him, and they're like, brother, and like Undertaker just like looks at them on him, and we just lose our shit. We're like, yeah, yeah, and I mean, like, best fucking
That'd
thing
have
ever.
been
It was
so
like when
great.
2 people who have like awesome costumes and they connect, but they don't know each other, and they just start role playing, and it was just
Yeah.
it was
That
amazing.
actually goes right into Wasteland. Like, that's exactly how I've met a lot of people out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
so
So good.
cool.
All right, it starts.
yeah, with
Yeah.
the truck.
There you go.